Hi guys, today we're going to make one of my wife's favorites. It's pasta with Fontina cheese sauce. Your ingredients that you're going to need are some medium shells or pasta of your choice. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of butter to make your roux or your bechamel sauce. Then you're going to have whipping cream. Heavy whipping cream is my preference. And the actual Fontina cheese. There's 9 ounces here. Then you're gonna make your roux first. I'm gonna cut this cheese into small pieces so it melts easier. Then I'm gonna add the whipping cream and the cheese at the same time. I'm gonna melt it down until it makes a nice sauce. I'm gonna drain the pasta, then add the sauce, and at the very end, I'm gonna add the peas and carrots, which I'll heat up in the microwave. Okay, now we've sliced up the cheese into small portions so it'll melt easy into the bechamel. I've also added, just to taste, just about a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. Don't use a lot because it's very strong. Just a dash or 2 of ground nutmeg to your flour and a little bit of salt. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this melted butter right here. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour and your spices. Again, I said I used ground pepper, a little bit of nutmeg, and a little bit of salt. I'm going to make this roux or bechamel. I'm going to cook it on a medium heat till it's nice and incorporated. Let it sit there for, keep stirring it for about 30 seconds. Making your roux. And again, what this will do for you is after you start adding your heavy cream, it will make your sauce thicken up nicely. So when you add it to the pasta, it's not in a liquid state. So there's your roux. You don't want to cook this so long where it burns. Okay, it's already got a little bit of color to it, as you can see. Once you get that in there, you can start adding your heavy cream. Add it a little bit at a time, and you'll notice that as you add the cream to it, you'll want to separate your roux out. If you take your time with it, slowly but surely that roux will incorporate into that heavy cream and it'll thicken up. And as it thickens up, that's when you want to add more cream. If you add too much cream into the roux mixture, what'll happen to it is it'll clump up into little pieces and it'll stay separate, and it won't make a nice little, if you look down in here, it's starting to make like a thicker, waterier portion of that roux that we started with. So now that it's thickened up again into a roux or a thicker portion, just add a little bit more heavy cream, not too much, because you want to do the same thing over and over and over again. You're going to stir this over this medium heat till it thickens up again. And when you get down to the end, it'll be thinner. Again, the reason you don't want to add all the cream at the initial stages is it won't thicken up as you go. It'll stay separated. So as you're going, you want to add this heavy cream a little bit at a time. Over here we've got our pasta cooking. And I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of this cream a little bit at a time, and then letting it cook and incorporate. Pasta's fine. My personal selection for this type of dish are the shells because they've got the pockets in them and they'll hold the sauce. When you get down here to the end, you're going to notice that the actual sauce that you're working with is going to get more and more watered down. See? Don't worry about that, because when you get to the end, you're going to add all this cheese in there. So I've used about 3/4 of this 1 pint of heavy cream, and now I'm going to start adding the little slivers of Fontina cheese that I cut. Again, we did that so it'll increase the rate of incorporation into the actual cream. Personally, I like Fontina cheese. It's got the best flavor. Some people like Gruyere. I don't think it has a good taste to it. Some people use Parmesan. Our personal favorite in this home is the Fontina for all cheese sauces. And what you're going to do now is you're going to just continue to stir this slowly over a medium heat until that cheese is completely melted. And what will happen is it'll really thicken up again. Then if you want to, you can add the remainder of your heavy cream. And that's it for now. Okay, now you can see that the cheese has melted into the whipping cream and roux mixture. It's thickened up. I'm going to add a little bit more of this cream to thin it out a little bit. There's just a little bit in here. I haven't used it because I don't want to make the sauce too thin. You kind of have to go by feel. It's still got a nice consistency to it. And now we're getting to the end. The pasta has got about 3 more minutes left. I've taken that can of peas and carrots, just put it in a bowl. I'm just going to stick it in the microwave for about 1 minute and 30 seconds to heat up the peas and carrots. And then here at the end, I'm going to continue to stir this sauce until the pasta is completely cooked so it doesn't separate. And the peas and carrots will be done in about 1 minute. The pasta should be done shortly thereafter. I'm going to drain it. Make sure I drain it really well because those shells will hold a lot of water in there. And then when I get completely done draining the shells, I'm going to add the sauce and the peas and carrots. I'm going to drain the canned fluid off the peas and carrots before I add it as well. So it's just going to be sauce, noodles, and peas and carrots, and I'll show you the final product. Alright guys, we've drained the pasta. The sauce, I kept it mixing the entire time so it doesn't stick to the bottom or get a film over the top. I'm going to add it. Make sure you get all of it. If you notice there's no burnt stuff on the bottom of the pan, if there is, since this is a white sauce, it's going to be very evident to you. But if you're making this sauce and you've left it sitting too long and it has stuck to the bottom, just remember that you can pour, do not continue to stir it, that you can pour this on here, and in the bottom you'll have that film in there. As long as you don't scrape it, it won't get mixed in with your sauce. In addition to that, I've drained the peas and carrots, which I'm going to add. Now, one more thing that you can do if you prefer it is you can buy some pre-cooked bacon, heat it up in the microwave, cut it in a little 1-inch pieces, and add that into this particular mixture as well, and it's also very good. Today it's a vegetarian dish with pasta. And as you can see, if you just take your time, mix it in nice and slowly, those shells will absorb all of that delicious Fontina cheese sauce. And boom, there you go. You got pasta shells with Fontina cheese and peas and carrots. Try it, it's delicious.